Okay, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about the ceramics project. My name is Debbie Mayberry. I am the one of the 4-H agents here in Torrance County. I love ceramics. I tried ceramics when I was in high school, and it's something that takes a while to kind of do and get the hang of and possibly master the project. So um, I am sometimes called a ceramicist or even a potter. So a lot of times you will see that the words are used interchangeably when people are talking to you, or maybe even in the book itself, it may go back and forth between it. Um, so Sorry, this is the first time I've done this on Zoom, okay? Can you see the fair entries on there?
No, it's still your title slide.
Okay. Okay, now you can?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, thank you. So I was going around judging all the different fairs, the county fairs, and even at the state fair. And all the projects for ceramics were lumped into just these 7 categories. And when I was checking it out, I would see that they would have things like air dry up against something that was done on a pottery wheel. So it was very inconsistent, and it really limited what people could actually enter into the fair. So I asked the state 4-H office if I could add some categories onto it so that you would have more opportunity to display against other items that were in the same category, and even encourage people to add other things that may not have been added before. So the different categories now is 900 is one glazed item. So that item is judged just on the glaze itself. And then there's 901, the underglazed item. A ceramic color was used under the glaze. 902 is overglazed item, a decorative finish fired on a glazed surface. 903 is a one unfired finished item. So that would be something that like you painted with ceramics, and it's only, or with acrylic paints. And that would be only judged for its finish. Then we go into things that are made. So 904 is a mold form slip cast item. So the person entering needs to actually make the item and not necessarily, you don't want them to display something that was commercially made. So 905 is one hand molded felt clay item with the pinch pot method. 906 is hand molded coil pot. 907 is one hand molded slab method, and 908 is one real form thrown item. 909 is one air drive decorative item. 9010 is one greenware adaptation, and 911 is self-determined. So if it doesn't fall in one of those other categories, you can put it into the self-determined. When entering your items into your fair, make sure you use the right color-coded tag for your entry. Blue is for clover buds at your county fair. At the state fair, the first class items will need to either be pink for novice, yellow for junior, or green for senior. Some people use show work, some people handwrite them. When last year I was hired as a supervisor because someone was using a yellow tag and then it said novice on it. So it can be kind of confusing, and it can make us take longer to get through judging. Make sure you have on the tags, you'll see there is the class, project, article, exhibitor, and county. Make sure you put in your full name that you have used for your 4-H enrollment or fair entry, and your county, so that we make sure to get it back to you. And always put a really good description of what your item is. And you also label your item. So when you label your item, a lot of times, like with ceramics, we can carve it into it. But I also like to put a piece of masking tape with the name, the county, and the age division on the item itself. So that way, if it gets separated from its tag, we still know where it came from and whose it is, and we can get it back to you. So I'm going to go through to also encourage people to join the 4-H project and to explain it better. I designed a ceramic project book that is easy to follow with illustrations and explanations. So I'm going to share some of the things that you can make to enter into the fair today that are in the book that's going to be coming out fairly soon. So here's the new color of the book, the cover, and here are color coded for each of the different divisions in the book. So I would have a brief introduction and history. They're different clay bodies. So when we're doing pottery, a lot of your clay bodies, like the earthenware, is what is your normal dishes that you purchase like in the store. Stoneware is more the high fire clays, like you can use them in the oven. They're very versatile. The earthenware is a low fire. Porcelain is more of your fine china. And then here is a new category, the air dry and polymer clays. So those ones are easy to make and anybody can enter them. The air dry just dries by air, and the polymer clays are something that you fire in the oven and not in a kiln. So here are some easy hand building projects that you can make to display that are in this book. There's a pinch pot method, there's a coil pot, and here's the slab bowl. The book also goes through slip casting, which is the like figurines that you purchase in the store, and then there's also instructions on wheel throwing. Greenware is before something is fired. Painting and glazes, so you can purchase something from the store, paint it with acrylic paints, and enter it into the fair. It's just that easy. So glazes, you're going to need to have a kiln or have access to a kiln and someone to help you fire it. So if you're interested in the ceramics project and you want to possibly attend a workshop this weekend, Saturday, we're going to be doing a wheel throwing workshop, ceramics projects also. And so maybe you can join us next year for our FCS school, or even let your agent know that you're interested in it. And we can make sure that you are into the project and have help to be able to do the project. Okay. So I wanted to kind of show you, this is a coil pot. So like I said, it's easy enough to make. This is the air dry clay. It's got different colors. It could be white, called Model Magic. These are the polymer clays. Easy to use. They make a lot of jewelry out of them. These are things that were purchased at stores and painted with acrylic paints and sprayed with the gloss. Here is a tag that I wrote out, probably backwards, but you can see I filled out everything on it. And here is a pot. Not only is the stuff carved in it, but it also has my name, my county, and my senior, that I'm a senior, and it's on a green tag. This is a high fire stoneware item. This is an example of an overglaze with a gold flake on it. And this would be like a greenware adaptation. So they made the item, And then they also added clay to it to make it look all bumpy. So it was an adaptation to the throne item. When they get the book, the ceramic book is going to look like this. Oops, sorry. Does anybody have any questions?